Hello, Cherries, and welcome to Live Cherry Sunday, episode 184. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to improve your legato with one simple technique. I'm going to say hello to my friend real quick, Eisenkeller from Germany. What's happening? Give you a round of applause. We're in Germany. Where are you watching here from? I've been there a few times, and it's always great to go. It's a beautiful country. See if you can hear my guitar out there today. Beer o'clock, huh, Paul? All right. Alright, so we're going to do a little legato work today, and there's one important rule with legato. It's not even really even a rule, but if you can remember this and just think about it, because it's something you do all the time when you're doing legato, but you might not think about it. And if you think about it, it'll actually allow you to focus more on it, and it's really, really helpful. And that one simple thing is this. When you're doing pull-offs, and a pull-off is just nothing more than just taking one... I'll switch the cameras here real quick so you can see this a little bit clearer. You know, pull-off, let's say you got your fingers are up here, hitting these three strings, three notes. I'm taking my pinky, and I'm pulling off to my, what is my ring finger right here? I'm pulling off my pinky to my ring finger. Then I'm pulling off my ring finger to my pointer. So, I mean, it seems obvious that that's what we're doing, but if you focus on that and you strengthen those pull-offs, it'll really improve your legato. So you're taking your pinky. I mean, most people probably nonchalantly just do the pull-offs. But if you concentrate on strengthening those pull-offs, so when you're doing this, kind of concentrate on what you're actually doing. And you're taking your pinky, you're pulling off, and strengthen that and be aware of it. And then be aware of this next one. Regardless of what fingers, you can go on the B string down to your what finger is this? That's, I don't even know, your second finger there. Or your index finger. I guess that's what it is. You're pulling off your pinky to your index finger. Then you're pulling off your index finger to your pointer. So really dig in there, Paul Eisenkeller. Really dig into these pull-offs. And it'll really smoothen out your legato. Like this. So if you're enjoying this video so far, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. How you doing out there today? I know it's beer o'clock somewhere. I have my coffee, trying to get a little wired up here this afternoon now. Had a little bit of technical difficulties this morning setting up this live stream today. I started off, I was connecting my my pedal, and I used a different pedal. I used my Lion pedal today, the 68 Lion direct pedal, because I wanted to get a little bit better of a sound, a little bit more sustain, and I think this pedal does that. So I like it. It's a good sound, but I was getting some wicked noise, so I had to hook it up a little bit differently, and then my microphone was sizzling, and it was weird, and I figured out that it was just my mic cable, believe it or not. Even though it was not shorting out, it was fine. I just replaced. It's the process of elimination, Always start with the cable. So, I think we're happening now. And we're doing some legato stuff. And I'm just going down 3 notes per string right here, I'm going down, say this pattern right here of the E minor. Starting on the D note. Then you can just go up all different patterns, starting on the E. That's why 3 notes per string exercise is really, really cool. And if you have any questions about this stuff, please let me know. We're here all day. Not all day, for a while at least. And it's great to practice this stuff with a metronome. And there's a lot of really important things to really kind of look at. It's not as simple as just, doing the pull-offs. It's, first of all, I would always start off by stretching my hands, stretching my fingers. If you're doing something, if you're, making coffee or whatever while it's brewing, just do some wrist stretches, some finger stretches. Make sure that you're relaxed and everything, because it really, really helps. If your hands are tense, I found in my old age, it took years to realize this, that being tense on either of your hands doesn't do anything good for you. I know it seems obvious. David Johnson. Oh my goodness gracious. Give you a round of applause. Hello, David. So good to see you. David's an excellent guitar player and a Huey Lewis in the News tribute band. If this is the David Johnson that I'm thinking it is. Getting some great gigs with the Huey Lewis band. And so the most important thing is just relaxing the fingers, relaxing the hands, and another great tip is for the sake of this practice, is kind of keep your fingers parallel with the frets for this. Just like this. And if I'm up here on this one, so keeping your fingers parallel with the frets are very helpful. And you might have noticed that I do tense up a lot when I do this, but I'm aware of it, and as I'm tensing up, I'm actually relaxing while I'm doing it in the middle of the phrase. So I could just be in the middle of the phrase. And I'll think, wow, I'm actually tensing up, so I'll lighten it up. And I'll switch. Because if you're tense and you're tight and you're squeezing the fretboard, think about it. It's going to be hard to move positions. The tighter and the more that you clamp down on the neck, you're locking yourself. So in order to move around, you have to release, and that release actually takes time. You know, for your hand to come off the fretboard, for the muscles in your hand to relax. So the less tension you put in your hand, the easier it is for every aspect of it. I can move through. Move here. Or, you know. So that's another thing. Keep them relaxed. Keep the fingers relaxed there. And what I'm doing picking wise is important. I'm only picking one time. I'm going on the first attack. And now my pinky is pulling off to this, like I was saying earlier, to my ring finger. And then I'm pulling off my ring finger to my pointer. So it's really only one attack with a pick. And then pick. 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 On each string, one pick. That's all it is, just one attack, and even going up. And going up, they're hammer-ons. It's different from pulling off. I'm tapping, it's like, now you're actually just tapping it with your fingers. Same thing here. So that's a good exercise too, just to do the hammer-ons. Hello, Barry. Hi from New England. Great tone. It is the lion pedal. I love mine. That's really cool. You know, I had a gig last night in Long Island by Ronkonkoma, about a half hour outside of Ronkonkoma, and I used my Friedman IRX, and man, it just sounded so good last night. It has a boost function, and it just, for the first time, not really the first time, but right through the wedge. So I wanted to actually use that, and I wanted to make a video today on that, but it would have been a big ordeal to like switch cameras and all this stuff. So I decided to do this, but I did want a better sound than using my Iridium with the my blues driver pedal, you know, which is a very generic sound, which is good, but for this legato, I think that the line was better. And like I was saying, I hooked it up in line with everything, and I was getting a wicked hum, even with my volume down. It sounded like this, even with my volume down. And that's when you know there's a problem. If your volume's off on the guitar and you still hear a hum, which is different than hiss. If you're hearing like this, when your volume is off, that's, you know, an indication that you have a ground problem somewhere. So, anyways, thank you, Barry. I'm glad you like the sound. And so it's really important to kind of keep your hands relaxed. Number one, keep your hands relaxed. And if they do feel tense, then relax them and then slow down. Just back off. And if you're in the middle of a phrase, like this, I found. And your hand's getting kind of tired, slow down. But land on a note that actually sounds good. Because it's musical. and it actually helps, and it's just a good habit. So land on a note that, and while your note is ringing out, you're relaxing your hand so you could start shredding again, you know what I mean? So it's giving you that's why people slow down when they're doing guitar solos, you know, they're in the middle of a fast riff. Hold on to a note right there, you know? That's a break right there, and it's giving their hands a rest as well. So hopefully you're enjoying that. If you are, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I don't like groovy stuff. So let's see. There's lots of different patterns too. And the best thing to do is you could actually practice with a metronome. It's really the best thing. Like I have a little click going right here, and this is 80 beats per minute right there. You did hear a little bit of rat in there. Finny, how you doing? I think you heard a little bit of like this chord. Right? Kind of like a... I won't play it exactly because I'll get a copyright claim. You know, YouTube picks up on that stuff really easily. It's kind of like a... And you got that chord. Little major thing. Little minor. Probably a little too late for that, huh? Yeah, Warren DeMartini is amazing guitar player. Talking about like Legato. That guy was great legato player. You know, people think of Joe Satriani as great legato. And of course they were. They all were. All right. So back at it. The picking, I'm only picking one more note at a time. With the metronome, you could do something like triplets with one pick, one attack, like this. go down the 3 notes per string pattern, which will be like this. But slow. I'm really concentrating on the pull-offs. The 2 of them that I have here, from the pinky to the ring finger. Or one time. And hammer-ons. Now another pattern you can do is going down, descending with triplets, like this. And that's only one tempo at 80 right there. Take it up 5 beats per minute every time you go through it. But one thing I want to point out here is that with that last pattern that I did like this, one of the most important things is to try to keep it clean in between strings. Because when you're doing this on one string, it's easy because you're not switching strings. Switching strings becomes obviously a little bit more difficult with this, because now you're pulling off. You're doing pull-offs and hammer-ons. Here's a pull-off right here. Let me switch this camera so you can see this a little bit better right here. You're doing pull-offs, pull-off here. Now you're doing a hammer-on. So you got, and then you have to pick this note. Hammer-on, hammer-on, pick, hammer-on, pull-off. So descending this way is a combination of hammer-ons and pull-offs. Now transitioning between the two strings cleanly is the tricky part. You can already hear like a little bit of noise when I transition between the strings. So what I'm doing is I'm really trying to palm mute right here all the loose strings. That just comes from years of trying to control it. Just naturally starts to, eliminate the loose strings. Without completely killing this, the ringing of them. Check it out. So you got. So it just gets a little bit noisy because I'm loosening up. I'm not really muting the strings correctly. See, with an exercise like this, I'm actually doing ascending, but I'm doing pull-offs as well. I wasn't going like... So I'm doing pull-offs here too. changed every time I switch strings. That's tough. So when I'm in the middle of it, I'm struggling, which I am right now, I'll slow down. See the transition right here? Hello, Tom G. Tom G in the house. Give you a round of applause. All right. So I got my air conditioner off. Sweating over here. It's hot. I got my air off for your pleasure because you don't want to hear that. It's right behind the, so, yeah. I'd rather have it quiet and be hot, right? So, keeping it clean in between strings is the key. And I think I have one more really good tip here for you for vibrato. And, not vibrato, legato. When you're playing, keep the hand relaxed. We went through that already. Keep it parallel with the frets. And what was I going to say? Let's say the transitions between moving your hand becomes easier when your hand's more relaxed. And like that was what the point I was trying to make, is that the only way you can really move freely between the fretboard is if your hand is relaxed. Ooh, that's hard. That's where I have a problem right there, is I need to really focus on. I tend to just want to pick there, right there. Because sometimes I have a better connection between my right and left hand just picking the notes. Something like that, as opposed to these hammer-ons are here and pull-offs. Because I'm tightening up. So it's hard when you, like I said, when you're tightening up to move positions. Up to here, something like this. So I just shift it over to this position. So it's a matter of kind of, for me, just relaxing enough so that I could move into a different position. So right there. Hello, Jeffrey. Jeffrey boy, give you a round of applause. All right. You know, we'll see if it makes a difference. Check this out. I just put the air conditioner on. It's really hot. So if you hear that compressor kicking in, sorry about that. I need some air. It's hot here in the summer in New York. Domo arigato. What does that mean? I know that's a song. It's in the Mr. Roboto song, right? Domo arigato, Mr. Lobato. Oh, domo arigato legato. I don't know what that means, Feeney, but maybe you could fill us in. You can enlighten us. Drink some aqua. I tend to be speaking Spanish a lot lately, even though I don't really speak Spanish. I know a little bit of Spanish growing up in Fort Lauderdale, so close to Miami, but I just naturally, like sometimes I'll go uno instead of saying one. I just say uno, or I'll say aqua if I want water in a restaurant. Aqua, like it comes out, just aqua comes out faster than water would come out. All right, thank you so much, Finny, glad you appreciate it. Glad you enjoy this. It really is a simple lesson, and the main point that I really wanted to just focus on for this whole idea is just getting the attention focused on what you're actually doing in legato, and that's a series of hammer-ons and pull-offs, and being aware. And if you do it clean, it's probably better. Not better, but just good. Clean as well as dirty. To hear really what you're doing. With the metronome. You're like triplets. Seems boring, right? Bobby, that's hot. 108 degrees in Nevada. Oh, wow. Robert. Since it with a little more all the way up. Double time. Different position. Degrees in Nevada. It's hot. I'm not surprised. It gets hot out there. Well, I don't envy you right now being out there. Dry or not dry, it's still 108 degrees. Right? I mean, if you're in the oven, it's 200 degrees and you're like a chicken being cooked. And you're not thinking, wow, it's dry heat right now. You're still being cooked. That was a random analogy right there. But yeah. So I really ever since I started focusing on this, my legato has just really improved. Just thinking about it, really, really helped. thinking of the fact that I'm just, really trying to get the note, squeeze it out. And if you're not really getting all that you can out of that, then you're doing something wrong right off the bat. Because sometimes you're playing really fast. If you're doing a fast legato, like a kind of like a if you're not hearing all three notes equally, then you're doing something wrong. It means that your timing is off and you're really not pulling off correctly, evenly. So I'm hearing kind of like a click between each note. Hear that? It's kind of what you want to get out of it, right? Same thing with this one. Right, so you got that click. And of course, practicing it slow, it's a lot easier to play slow, right? But you get it really clean, slow, and then next thing you know, you'll be blistering fast and it'll be clean sounding. But it all starts just slow. You're not going to sound good fast. Not going to sound clean fast if you can't be clean slow, really. So what I always imagine is that I'm playing some beautiful, amazing music. But I'm playing it really slow, but it's clean, so it actually sounds good. And if you can imagine that times 10, I think that's pretty good, because it's very, what would you say, you're visualizing it. And that's half the battle, right? Just visualizing and seeing it. Kind of like... even that, there's some hammer-ons and pickups there. Pull-off. Hammer-ons and pull-offs there. When I do a riff like this. Pull-offs. It's probably one of my favorite riffs that I do, is something like that. Do it all the time. So yeah, that's a really, really great thing to do, and relaxing your hand. Right on. So let's see, what else can we talk about here for this legato lesson? I think we pretty much covered most of it, but I would like to say that it's a great exercise to use the metronome and just pick a pattern, like and then do one where you're actually changing strings between the triplets, like this. Go through all the 3 notes per string, patterns this way. Like even up here, like. So I'm switching fingers right here. It's really hard to actually do that and try to keep it clean. See how I'm switching between my pinky here? Hammer on, hammer right there. You know what that is? So I had a show last night where it was 40 songs, and it was 80s and 90s. Half the set, first set was going to be 80s, and the next set was going to be all 90s stuff. And I'm real familiar with pretty much all the 80s stuff. Not so much the 90s music, but I played them before, and a handful of the tunes I'd never played before. And, you know, we wound up scrapping the whole 90s and adding a whole nother 80s set. So it was all for nil, you know. But it's totally okay because I learned some really cool stuff, you know, from the 90s stuff that, you know, I never really did before. Like, there's one really cool, pretty riff. It's kind of like this one, like something like that, right? But lots of cool stuff. So hopefully you got something out of this here today. We're rocking on a Sunday. I think it'd be a great idea to take the metronome, keep it simple, but then go and then pick it up speed-wise in increments of 10 or whatever, because it sounds really simple when you do something like, you know, you're just kind of playing it. Actually the pattern right there. When you double it, you get a about that. But then, slow it down or speed it up. Go over here and where's my time? Okay, right there. Go up to say 90. Enter that in. Increments of 10. Just build it up. Oh, that's right, okay. I remember what I wanted to say now. This is probably the second most important thing after knowing that you're pulling off and hearing all the notes evenly. I had mentioned something earlier about keeping your fingers parallel with the frets. Right? This is a little bit hard to explain here, but when you're... switch this camera. I feel that when you're in a position and you're playing, or if you're just playing anything, you're just in here playing the blues or whatever. Or whatever, right there. So you're in a position, keep your hands relaxed, which I already said a million times. Keep your fingers within the frets, parallel. Man, you can always, but I'm saying just for the purposes of this video, for the technical purposes, you find yourself playing somewhere like a pattern like this. Every time you're in a position right here, if you can keep your hands parallel with the frets, relaxed, and free so you can move between them. Like I was saying, it's really hard to express this point, what I'm trying to explain here, is that the more relaxed that you have your hands here, is to not clamp up inside here. That sounded like something, didn't it? It was almost like the Final Countdown solo. Something like that, right? Cool. Yeah, I guess that's the point I'm trying to make, is maybe the point is when you're focusing on your technique and you're dropping your thumb back behind here, it's hard to keep control over it. I think a lot of times people tend to grab the neck right here because they have more control over it. And but when you drop your thumb back, you're losing a little bit of control right here. But you could always mute, like we're always doing right here anyway with this. With my right hand here. And then you could drop back have better technique to get where you need to go. Because when your thumb is up here, what are your fingers doing? Right here. At some point, you got to throw the thumb back. You got to let the hand be free to play up here. I came up with a cool lick last night. I was messing around. I did something like this. What was it? Something like some cheesy riff. Something like that. Yeah, that was it. Makes no sense at all. But then add it in with like a riff that actually makes sense. I was doing some tap thing too. It's kind of cool. Little tap exercise. You can go right through all of the different scales and patterns. Just dropping it down wherever you have a. That's a whole idea for another lesson, but right over here in this pattern right here. I think that's pretty fun. For another time. So if you're having a good time, hit that like button, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, and all that groovy stuff. So it's finally cooling off in here a little bit. I'm actually wearing my Guitar Gavel shirt. That's a website from a friend of mine, Guitar Gavel, David, with his website, does interviews and stuff. It's really cool. He did an interview with me, like it's last year, maybe. It was actually a really, really fun talk. So check out his channel. You can, or his website. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, let me know. There's something strange about the Tonex sounds, but can't afford a lion. 1,000 years. Something strange. Eisenkiller. There's something strange about the Tonex sounds, but can't afford a lion in 1,000 years. Well, I think in 1,000 years you'll be able to afford a lion. Yeah, it's expensive stuff. I mean, I think this line was, what was it? It's like $3.99 or something. Maybe $2.99. What's funny is I bought that, and then I wound up buying the Friedman like immediately afterward, and I was going to return it, the lion. But I was procrastinating, and I had like 30 days to return it, and I thought, well, you know, maybe I'll hold on to it because it sounds pretty good for recording. And I used the lion for a recording, a new song, which I finished. I have a brand new song. It's finished. It was mastered. So I'm going to put together some kind of video for it before I show the world the song. But I used the lion on it for the distortion. It's a real throwback, rockin' song, and it has the lion all over it. And I think it's good. I thought it tracked very well. That's why I kept it. But after messing with the IRX for a while now and touring with it, I'm really, really happy with that, the Friedman IRX. So I totally, for so many reasons, I recommend the Friedman IRX. If you're thinking about the Lion, it's really good. Friedman's maybe a little bit better. So, oh, Jeffrey Boy, you saw that one. That's really cool. Thank you. And guess what? Just on one last random note, I'm actually, this Tuesday, I'm actually being filmed for an independent movie, and it's a sequel. It's a part 2 of this thing about Sidemen, And I think the last one was in the Cannes Films Festival, or some show about sidemen. And I'm going to be on. I'm doing an interview on Tuesday. Who knows how it's going to go? It's probably going to go great, but I don't know. We'll see. Talk about my time, sidemen, playing with Chubby Checker, and being a guitar guy, playing in lots of different projects, and so that's gonna be fun this Tuesday, and it'll be kind of cool. So hopefully you got something out of this today, and thank you very much. Any ideas for any future lessons or anything, let me know. I'd appreciate that. Really, really cool. But use the metronome. Try to get it as clean as you can. Doesn't matter how fast or slow you're playing. Great thing I learned too a while back is to do something like this. Hammer-ons and picking, like something like a where you could hammer on the first string and then pick the second descending down, doing the same thing, hammering on or pulling off the first string and then picking the three notes on the second. But really ascending's pretty cool, like this. I think that about wraps it up here for today. Thank you very much for hanging out with me here on a Sunday. It's a little bit gray outside today, but I'm sure it's beautiful. I don't know what you're going to do today, but enjoy it. And like I was saying, any ideas for future, I'll be back next Sunday, which I go live every Sunday at 12 o'clock. And trying to keep it consistent with Sundays because sometimes I'm out on the road and can't do it on Sunday, but I'll do it Monday. And but I'll be back. I will be here next Sunday at 12 o'clock. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much, Eisenkeller. Thank you. Ghost of Peter Steele. I don't know what that is. What's the Peter Steele? I have to check that out. What is that? Eisenkeller, Ghost of Steele. Did you play with Bo Diddley? No, I played with Chubby Checker with the twist. Come on. On 10, we're just like. total punk rock. Typo Negative. Oh yeah? Okay. I did see them. I saw Typo Negative once. And they opened up for Queensryche, believe it or not, on the Operation Mindcrime tour, which I saw. I saw Queensryche. Rage for Order. I saw that tour when they opened up for Ozzy for the Ultimate Sin record. How I remember all this stuff? You know, I can't remember yesterday. I can't remember yesterday, but I can remember 20 years ago like it was yesterday, you know. What do they call that? Short-term memory loss? What did I just say? All right, guys. So cool hanging out with you today. Bo Diddley. Got some pretty cool stories about when I was with Chubby Checker, and we did we opened up for Chuck Berry once, Little Richard, and I got to do a sound check with Chuck Berry's band as Chuck Berry. I played his guitar, his amps, and everything. Was pretty one of the most memorable experiences I think of my life. That is really cool. So thank you, Jeffrey, Ghost of Peter Steele. Thank you so much. Typo Negative. Yeah. You saying I look like the guy a little bit? I can take it. I've been called, I'm not going to say worse because I can't really even picture what he looks like exactly. I think he probably looks like me, right? But he has like long black hair, right? I just remember seeing them and everything was like it was like sludge. Everything was low. His voice was low. The music was low. It was almost like oil. I imagine like was just flowing from the stage. Almost like a crazy like science fiction movie that like this lava is building up all over, and you got to get away from it before it just kind of takes over you and covers you up, and that's the end of you. So yeah, Finny. I'm somewhat new and really confused on what to do with the triads. Man, but that's good stuff. The triad stuff is just so helpful. I got another lesson thing coming up where it's like I got this triad idea. So I'm like, you know, you're doing that. So I'm like, you know. Playing like a G, C, D in different triad positions. Here's G, C, D, G. Just doing the 1, 4, 5 chords. You have the G, C, D, G, G, C, D, G. That's triads right there, and it could be really helpful in so many different ways. But we're going all over the place here today. So we'll wrap it up here for today, and thank you very, very, very much. I got to figure out a video to put up there on a card for you to watch later. For all you people in the future who are watching this, thank you very much. Be cool, be kind, be cherry. And if you want to see another video on Legato, I'll put it right up there for you to see. Have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. I love yous, and I'll see you in the next one. All right. Take care, y'all. Peace.